Joining me today is Krista Oliver. She's one of our very own video journalists, our most promising one, perhaps. Krista, you went viral after only 4 months in D.C., very recently, over a tweet. And can you just explain to our audience exactly why you went viral?
So I've been living in a house with 7 roommates. And when I moved in, I don't really care what your political affiliation is. As long as you're a good roommate, you pay your rent on time, you're respectful, I really won't have a problem with you. And I think they're all on the line of being Democrat. Doesn't bother me at all. And I never told anyone where I worked when I moved in. I never shared anything really about myself. If they wanted to look, they can look. And they started figuring out where I worked and what I believe in. I wore a couple shirts around the house that had governors on them or past campaigns I've worked on and stuff. And I think they started putting pieces together. I outgrown this house. It's really rinky-dink and old and has rats and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to move out and find somewhere else to live. So I started my search on Facebook. A lot of people do that, and found a house in Noma area. It was beautiful, all girls, under budget, gorgeous house. So I inquired with them. Details were exchanged back and forth in our Facebook messages, and I thought this was going to be like the place for me. And then about 2 hours later, I was going to have her send me the application, and she came back with, "Hey there." It was a tweet that it went viral. "Hey there, roomies looked at your socials, we stalked you, and saw that we have different political ideologies, and I don't think it's a good fit." So I found it outrageous because that's not a factor of what I look for in a roommate. I live with 7 Democrats. I've worked on staffs where I had 18 Democrats to 3 Republicans. I'm totally fine with being the odd man out. I actually encourage it. I like it. So it was kind of a shocker for me. So I put it on Twitter. I didn't really have a following back then, a couple days ago, and didn't think it was going to blow up, and it did. And a lot of people said they had the same issues finding roommates in DC, and they went through the same experience. So, so it's been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid they find out you work at the Daily Caller. I mean, that would be truly devastating news. Well, so have you interacted with them at all since this tweet? Did anybody see that tweet, or did they reach out to you afterwards?
No, so I was afraid of that. I mean, honestly, I'm actually shouldn't be afraid about it. But no, they have not reached out to me, and I was a little nervous about it. My roommates, I don't think they have any of me on social media. They never saw it, or I've never been asked about it in my house. But yeah, a lot of people, they felt for me because they went through the same stuff, with being kind of discriminated against with their ideologies. And I'm not a very political person. I mean, I have people that know me for 3 years, and they had no idea I was Republican when this whole thing came out. And I was like, yeah, I just don't talk about it. I don't engage in the conversation. I work 9 hours a day in politics and journalism. When I come home, I'm not going to talk about it. It's not a place for me where I want to talk about politics. So you would never know I was Republican, and I would never tell anyone either.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I moved to DC in 2008, and after I graduated college in 2012, I can't really imagine this having happened to me. Just based on where I work, I think things in DC have definitely changed over the course of the past 8 years. Have you noticed? I mean, did you experience this climate on your campus? Is this something that you've experienced prior to moving to Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, so I went to Ole Miss, and I would probably say about 8 out of 10 people at Ole Miss were conservative. I mean, it was pretty slim when you saw a Democrat. I think the past living situation, I was an RA. I had about 21 people on our staff. 18 were about Democrat. My bosses were Democrat, and there's 3 Republicans on staff. And we were not very loud and proud about it. We kept very quiet. And then another living situation, they were all Republican. So I never really had to deal with, I have both sides of the experience, but I was never discriminated against or put down for my views at all. In my own house, I've been told behind my back I'm a walking hate crime. And I find it disgusting and repulsive that's been said about me. There was a text messages exchange with two roommates of mine that were saying that she's literally moving out because she found out I was Republican, and she cannot stand being in a house with a Republican, so she's moving out in a few days because of me. And I've talked to maybe her 3 minutes in my entire life. She knows really nothing about me except for the fact that I'm a Republican and where I work. So it's honestly insane.
Yeah, wow, that is crazy. And I do understand that the tweet was somewhat financially fruitful. Can you just explain? I guess you can explain to our audience first, like what Venmo is, and then how exactly you received these funds.
Yeah, so I was not thinking that I was gonna be DM'd by a few people asking just straight up, "What's your Venmo?" And I'm like, I'm not gonna be shy about this. I'll drop it. I'm gonna capitalize. So I dropped it, and they sent me like about $300 total, and it's just gonna sit in my Venmo account. I don't even know what I want to do with that, but yeah. So I did get a little money from this, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, maybe you can put that towards a security deposit if you ever find a new place to live. So yeah, were you able to find a new place to live as a result of this, or what's the deal?
Yeah, so I had a lot of people ask me if I wanted to live with them. They were Republican that they reached out on Twitter, and I was like, honestly, I need a place. Like, I don't really care if I'm moving with people, if people want to come with me, or I it's a little bit overwhelming. I've been figuring it out, and I've asked people since this tweet came out that I laid it out all up front. Like, I found a couple places I liked, and I said, hey, this has been an issue in the past, and I've been getting denied housing because of it. Um, I'm Republican, I'm conservative, I work for the Daily Caller. Would this bother you? If it does, totally fine. I'll go on with my search. But I've had multiple people said, no, that's totally fine with us. Like, some were Republican, some were Democrat in the House. They would not care at all. So that's good that looking forward. But I'm going to lay it out front because I don't want to be in another situation where I'm at right now where I'm being harassed behind my back about what I believe in. So, and I don't want to say that's hypocritical of me because I would live with Democrats. I just want to live with people that are respectful towards me. So, yeah.
Well, I really hope you're able to figure it all out. Obviously, we value having you at the old Daily Caller, and you're a valued member of the video squad. So I hope you can figure it out and continue to provide content for all the folks out there because you're doing a good job of it.
Thank you. Thank you.